You know, I was actually having a very nice conversation with someone, and we were kind of talking about books. And yes, I know the recent whole cavalcade of fan fictions and book reviews on the channel have probably polarized a good portion of you, or have introduced a lot of you to my Airsoft content alongside this content. The biggest reason why I'm doing this content has to be, of course, YouTube. YouTube loves book reviews and loves videos around literature or the more finer arts, instead of the obvious behind me. But the big thing I kind of wanted to talk about today in this is a story that has stood the test of time. One of my personal favorite stories I love to reread or love looking at other adaptations of. A sci-fi story that effectively can say it created the invasion genre. It created the sort of nihilistic idea that we as a species are not top dog. We are not the end all be all, the ultimate argument against the humanity first movement. The book in question I'm talking about, of course, is none other than War of the Worlds. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, War of the Worlds by H.G. Wells is one of the best stories of all time, standing the test of time, spawning so many comics, sequel novels, mind you, unofficial sequel novels, and movies. But the biggest claim to fame that actually really made me fall in love with the story has to be Jeff Wayne's. Jeff Wayne's War of the Worlds is one of the best adaptations of War of the Worlds by far. In terms of a good, spin-off of the adaptation, there's a few. But aside from the comic books, which believe me, I will try and work with British, actual English people, fellow War of the Worlds fans, and we'll try and do a big podcast talking about the different comic books. I might call up a favor with a Brit who is as big, if not the biggest War of the Worlds fan as I am. And when it comes to adaptations, be it animated, that's the sad thing. There is no animated War of the Worlds films, outside of one, which is the best fucking sequel to the story to date, and sadly was neutered because of the Malaysian government. That being, of course, War of the Worlds Goliath. I bought this day one it released at Walmart. I legitimately scoured Walmart while I was in college, mind you, and fucking waited till they broke them out of the box. I and a few other War of the Worlds fans, especially those who loved the story, were legitimately there. I had to legit threaten someone with a knife for me to get this particular copy, because there were only a handful of these. And when I mean a handful, I mean maybe 50 out of the whole box, because the rest of them was in the standard DVD box. That's how much of a War of the Worlds fan I am. I fucking threatened somebody with a knife. In terms of actual legitimate spin-offs or their own interpretations of them, my favorite mockumentary has to be The Great Martian War. The Great Martian War, to my knowledge, does not have a DVD release. That is criminal, and the only way you can find it is if you pirate it or go to pirate sites to watch this. I personally have pirated the damn thing myself because, again, that's how much of a fucking War of the Worlds fan I goddamn am. And yes, a lot of you are going to condemn me or try and crucify me in the comments section. Well, I'm sorry, History Channel. If you actually provided us a goddamn DVD, I would have done it legally. I would have purchased it legally. But you didn't, you motherfuckers! War of the Worlds is one of the best H.G. Wells stories. Second to The Time Machine. And I say the Time Machine is second to the War of the Worlds because the War of the Worlds is what made H.G. Wells the man he is today. And I mean, if I had to name off my top 5 favorite H.G. Wells stories, or at least name them in order of ones I absolutely love, War of the Worlds would be number 1. Time Machine, number 2. Things to Come, number 3. The Fruits of Gods, I think the one is where, animals start getting massive, essentially. And then finally, The Empire of Ants is number 5, because I'm a sucker for creature features, and giant ant movies are kind of my guilty pleasure. As I stated before, H.G. Wells' War of the Worlds has been adapted into so many mediums, and there is an active fan fiction community for them. but most of them are either, hey, what would happen if War of the Worlds happened in this anime, or War of the Worlds happened in this show. But the ones that are hardcore fans, and you know exactly who you are, have done sequel stories to War of the Worlds. One where America was invaded by the Martians, and they literally took their technology and said, you know what, you sons of bitches? We're fucking coming for you. And immediately begin an invasion of Mars. Others have done sequels to not H.G. Wells, Jeff Wayne's War of the Worlds. I've even spotted some that have claimed they were going to be sequels to War of the Worlds Goliath because of that fucking ending, the open-ended ending. But then again, that was War of the Worlds as well. I love War of the Worlds. And I'm going to tell you now, somebody needs to fucking do a goddamn sequel. I don't care if it's a fucking comic book. I don't care if it is a goddamn fan fiction. Oh, I don't care. Someone needs to do sequels to War of the Worlds Goliath and The Great Martian War. And the current, right now, latest adaptation of War of the Worlds is a World War I story, which is literally called World War of the Worlds, or something along that name. That convention, which, by the way, link down below will be to that comic if you really want to check it out, because, or hell, any of the War of the Worlds comics down fucking below, because, again, really damn good. Hell, there's a fucking furry one that's actually really good. And I know everyone's going to crucify me for being a furry. Fuck you, okay? I love War of the Worlds. I've stated that many times before. For damn good reason. Be it the story. Be it the steampunk version. Be it the comic books. Be it the games. The movies. The Jeff Wayne albums, the original and the new generation, my bad, the next generation. New generation, next generation, doesn't matter, the one with Liam Neeson being the fucking narrator. Or even the criminally underrated War of the Worlds Goliath, or the criminally neutered Great Martian War, which, again, I have yet to find a DVD for. If you guys know of a DVD copy, let me know in the comment section down below. I will be a very happy, happy boy. I love War of the Worlds. War of the Worlds is the reason why we have so many invasion stories nowadays. War of the Worlds is the very reason why sci-fi is the way it is. Without War of the Worlds, we would not have the fascination we do with the Martian Red Planet. And I know people are going to try and correct me in the comments section. Fuck you, okay? I will happily die on this hill to defend War of the Worlds' honor and say it is the reason why we have such a fascination with the Martian Red Planet. And I know a lot of you are going to bring up, of course, the recent BBC special that did the War of the Worlds. I will cover that in a video, I fucking promise you on that. But not this one. I want to praise War of the Worlds just a little bit more. I want to suck its dick just a little longer. War of the Worlds is a story that needs to be read in school. It is a story that needs to be analyzed. It is a story that you need to introduce your children to, that needs to be on the curriculum required of reading. Because, I'll tell you now, I did have a hard copy of H.G. Wells' works until it was stolen in college. Sadly, it is no longer with me, or else I'd be holding up the book of the complete collection of War of the Worlds right now, and I even do a goddamn reading. But I'll have to suffice and be happy with the digital copy that you can find online, along with all of other H.G. Wells' works that have been completely digitized into PDF forms and completely thrown out into the internet for everyone to enjoy. That is how popular this is. That's how much people want you to read it, is they've basically given you a free fucking copy of it to be able to read it at your leisure. And I recommend you do. Or, if you can, go to Barnes & Noble, or whatever kind of bookstore you have. Find a copy of War of the Worlds, be it hard, soft, or even the little booklet, or any of the other incarnations. The steampunk one I actually want to read because I saw it when I was in college at the local library in Smyrna, Tennessee. I never got to rent it. I never actually got to read it because I was really busy, and I'm kind of sad about that. And now I really want to find the steampunk version of War of the Worlds, and I actually do want to give it a read. What I'm trying to say here, folks, is that I love War of the Worlds. I've said that many times in this video, and you're probably annoyed with that statement, me saying it over and over and over again, but for good fucking reason. It is a glorious story. It is a great story, and one that needs to be continued, needs to be appreciated, needs to be analyzed, needs to be loved as much as we love the other classic arts of Jules Verne, of Mr. Wells, of every other good science fiction author which has birthed, if not gifted us, the science fiction that we know and love today. Anyway, I've gushed about War of the Worlds long enough. To you, ladies and gentlemen, in the comments section, I leave this to you. What is your experience with War of the Worlds? How much do you love it? How much of a fan are you? Much like me to break the damn law. And have you ever gotten into a heated discussion with someone about War of the World adaptations and which one is better than the other? Let me know down below. And as always, ladies and gentlemen, I've been Airsoft Al, and I will see all you lovely, lovely people in the next video. And remember, the chances of anything coming from Mars are 1,000,000 to 1, they said. Till next time.